Hey everyone, Tactics here, and we have another advanced routing guide coming at you, this time covering Plaguefall. So I'll be going through mostly the Season 3 affix and Shadowlands here, encrypted, talking about those relics, when to use what, the different routing decisions we make. There are some pulls you could do that we didn't. You could do very similar pulls, you could alter it slightly. I'll talk about all those things, how I handle each pull defensively, offensively, boss tips and tricks that we've learned over the past 2 seasons, all those kinds of things. So if you enjoyed this video, you learned something, make sure you have a like and subscribe to the channel, because I'll be doing this for all 10 Shadowlands dungeons in Season 3, and of course all the new dungeons coming in Season 4 as well. I do already have the Gambit video out over on my channel, so if that interests you, make sure you check it out. But let's just quickly go over the route here in MDT, and this will be linked down below as well if you're interested in it, and what we actually do this week on higher tyrannical. It's actually bursting week as well. Like I think I can swap it to that. It's not in this. We'll do that. But it is bursting week. It's a bursting tyrannical week, and we still do some pretty interesting things. So this pull may or may not be doable, completely depending on your comp on a bursting week, because again, all of these burst, something you need to be aware of. So if you can't handle this pull, and I'll show you how we do handle this pull on bursting week, then obviously you can't pull it all at once, but it is a decent time save to just be able to AoE it all down, right? So I'll show you how we handle that. Otherwise, though, if it's not bursting week, you can pretty easily do this when it's any other affix week, right? We just do this single Plague Belcher, and we do run all the way down to kind of nab this blue, or not blue, the red slime, and bring it up to the boss. It's a pretty significant DPS increase. What you do have to be aware of, though, is of course that damage that it puts out, well, combined with all the boss abilities, right? The one interesting thing we do here, aside from pulling all this stuff, and I'll talk about these individual pulls in the video when I walk through my own plus 25 video, is this woe skip. So we do end up doing a woe skip all the way past all these tentacles to here. Now in the video, we did kind of scuff using the bombs a little bit. We only managed to bomb this pack, but the end goal is to actually bomb as many of these packs as possible. And I think if we perfect it, we probably could bomb all 3 of these packs, and that would be an absolutely massive time save. So this is what we've been experimenting with, this woe skip. It's probably not relevant for lower keystone levels. Like even on the 25, you would have timed it just fine. 26, you could probably time it just fine just by doing a regular W key through this tentacle area. But for the higher keys, I think being able to kill all 3 of these packs exceptionally quickly with the bombs is going to be a huge benefit. And so we've been practicing that, and I'll show you that live in video after I just walk through this. Other than that, nothing super complicated here. We're just kind of walking through here. We pull this to this island to cleave it down, get a relic, do the island with a relic. We just have one person, me, go 40-yard tag this mob to bring these 2 together, doing all the stuff down here, and of course the Necrolord slimes to the last boss. And again, this room, I believe we do this 1 pack at a time on bursting week, but otherwise you could just do it all at once as well if it's not bursting again. That's the route, again, linked down below. Let's go take a look at a video itself. So one thing right off the bat is that on fortified weeks, actually, there is some variation to this route where people pull like these 2 packs and the fat dude that Pat's over here all together and lust that, because you don't need lust for the boss because the boss will just melt. Interesting variation. We're going to be experimenting with that, but for now, let's focus on what we're doing here. So we're just skipping right off the top because we have a shroud. You could invis pod as well. That'll get you across, and we're just never going to pull any mushrooms with this tyrannical route. Going through, and then now we come to this pull. So on bursting, the way we live this is that we have a monk and a rogue that are going to be able to clear their stacks when they're really high. You're going to see here they're both going to clear around the same time when they have insane stacks, and the tick deals like 75% of their health. And then with them taking no damage and me being able to live as a druid, we then put a spirit link down here at relatively high stacks and use the spirit link to heal up the people that can't get rid of their stacks. And that's how we handle this bull on very high on bursting, with everyone max bursting stacks. A lot of damage, but with a couple of specs that can cleanse their stacks and then the magic spell on top of that, it becomes actually pretty safe. 1 GCD later and they probably both would have died, but you know, you have to put your defensive abilities, the timing has to be very tight, right? So one thing to note as well, I am mastered in this dungeon because mastered has a ton of utility, not only dealing with mobs like this, but also on a couple of the bosses. Three of the bosses, actually. The first, the second, and the last. So it's a very, very good mass root dungeon, and so that's why I'm running that. We're just kiting this Plague Belcher down, right? It allows us to kind of run away from these without needing to actually kill any of these small slimes, right? Kind of a waste of time. And it gets us closer to this pack we're doing down here. Now, I do make a little bit of a mistake here. You're going to see I mouse over these. I meant to moonfire it, but I think I was out of range, or I just didn't hit the button, because these should be in this pack. They're relatively easy to deal with. You just need to make sure you assign a stop to them. And if you pull them at the same time, which you usually will, they'll be synced up, so you'll be able to use one AoE stop, like a disorienting roar, to just kind of stop them at the same time, and they don't really do much outside of their one stoppable cast. So you can pretty safely add them things, assuming you get the stop. And so we end up having to add them into this next pull here, because normally we would add that guy in. So a slight amount of chaos, but it's not the end of the world. So we just paralyze the slime there, get these plague borers in, got the guy running in, which we're going to kick in a second, and, you know, just a little bit of a chain pull here. And we're just going to cleave this stuff down, and when it gets low, you'll see I'll add the red slime in. And we'll start cleaving it a little bit, and we just kick it and bring it all the way up top, because we're going to use that on that first boss to just kind of absolutely nuke it down. Just fast forward a bit, we're basically just killing those, bringing the red slime up. Oh, let's back up. And so we're using Kyrian cheese, so we're letting him Kyrian that. So we pull it in while this is still alive. We pop Lust, pop CDs, and we get Relic here. Now, there is some interesting applications of the Relic here. If we had killed it way faster, we would have been able to get it for this buff. That would have been really, really good for healing. So that's something we could do. Another thing is you could just kill it way slower and use it for the second thing, but then you miss the burst, right? So I actually think killing her super fast lets you heal through the back end of this dot. We do get it for a couple people, so it's pretty helpful. And it also lets you AFK in this red pool, because the red pool combined with anything else is a ton of damage. You're going to see pretty shortly here that we just get out of the red pool and we stop standing in it. That's the mass root utility. So with our given comp, we actually can ignore all of the ads on this boss fight, and we can just kill the boss. Very, very helpful. The mass root timing is basically, if you have the conduit, you just mass root as soon as it's up, and then you mass root again when it comes off here, and you see they're going to still be mass rooted, but that's fine. You just refresh the mass root as soon as you can. And then mass root will be back up when the next set spawn. And if you kind of stay in this corner here, you're going to see when the new slimes spawn, they'll stack right up with these slimes. So this is why we're positioned in such a way. That's why we put the red pool there, for example. And that's why I stay here even after the slimes spawn. We have the next big slime. We have a couple different CCs, right? We can Repara, we have Blind, we have Banish. I believe here, yeah, we just had a little mix-up, but it's fine. We end up getting the ring into a Banish, I believe. And then these are all here. We reroute because we're all together. Easy. And at this point, again, we're all staying away from the red puddle because it is pretty dangerous, especially combined with this Plague Stomp ability. It's just so much damage on the high Tyrannical. It's not worth the risk post Bloodlust, post buff. And so we just kind of stay off of it and just finish this boss pretty cleanly, because again, we don't have to waste any time killing any of these ads. So you can just kind of blast the boss and it's not a big deal. Moving past this guy though, down the hill, we pulled this pack here, get our relic. And then we pull all the slimes together. So this is an interesting pull. I'll explain that pull as well, because that's a pretty interesting pull here after we do this. There it is. Okay. We just kind of chain into here. Again, so we're grabbing all these slimes. Ideally, sync them up. We didn't do a great job of syncing up. So I use mine, and we're just chaining CCs here to line up their casts. So we have the sweep, and now their casts will line up, so we're all going to outrange them. Look at how far you need to get. That's it. Outranged. One person stayed in because he has a dispel, so he dispels himself. Here, we blind the Plague Binder, we bring this coagulated slime in, and we add it to the pack. Same deal. They start casting, literally jump out of range. I got one stack. Not the end of the world. That's how you handle this. You bring them together, you kind of chain AoE CCs on them until they're all lined up, and you don't kick. You do not kick unless there's like literally like one doing something weird. But other than that, you don't kick. You literally line them up with AoE CCs, melee, can hit them, run out of range for the cast. That's it. Super easy to deal with. It's a big time save to pull those packs together. So now we have this slime. The awkward thing is I really wanted my Incarn for this next bowl, so I believe I end up kind of splitting it into 2 pieces because I don't want to AFK for 30 seconds, but I also want to get this started, right? So we kick this guy in, I go in here, and I don't initially add these and these Slime Claws. Normally, both these sets of Slime Claws would be added to this pull, but I need Incarn to live that. So I can't do it until Incarn, and I'm losing aggro too here because it's a little awkward because, again, this is a CD pull. It's planned around CDs. We were just a little too fast, so I didn't have Incarn. Unfortunate. But it's fine. As soon as I get Incarn, you're going to see me kind of tag these guys. Move up the hill. Tag the new guys. And we'll AoE down. Yeah, a little awkward timing. But on a higher key level, this would be fine. So we're just kind of cleaving this down. Relatively scary pull because of the number of Slime Claws. Of course, these Corroded Claws. So you do need the Disease Dispel because, look, I stack up super fast here. I think it gets dispelled pretty shortly. But you can stack up insanely fast here on this Disease Dispel. So you need to make sure you have a Disease Dispel in your group. While we've got the Monk. Exceptionally important for tank survivability. So we're going to kill these guys. This guy's kind of running off into a bad place. And we're going to turn around and we're going to get Woe. So this is where we do the Woe tech. I don't actually remember if someone accidentally triggered the bombs early here or not. I don't think we did. Yeah, I don't think we did. And so we go here and we get Woe. And then we just zoom across the universe. There we go. We're killing Woe here. And we're going across and skipping the Gauntlet. Because again, the Gauntlet is relatively slow. And you can get percent just by adding a couple mobs to different packs. Which is what we end up doing. And it's just a big time save if you're able to use the bombs to then bomb the rest of the packs down there. Because with this, normally you get to bomb 1 pack. And I should have hit those on the way in, by the way. So then I get these to bomb the boss. I think we only end up getting 1 in. Yeah. Should have hit those on the way in, but that's fine. Like I said, this gets a little scuffed. We have the one person go down to get the next pack. And I think this is where we probably should have sent the Rogue and not the Monk, because then the Rogue could chain, get a bunch of packs with Misdirect. So we bring these 2 guys down. And we stack them right on top of this pack here. This will detonate. And I think, yeah, we sent someone late here, so someone should be gone to send, or to pick up the next pack, which is the fat dude, the 2-pack, the fat dude and the 1 caster, because we're saving the slime for boss. And then we'd be able to kind of drag these in on top of that. We don't end up doing that, obviously, here. This was our first time trying this out, and I think our DPS were confused as who was supposed to do what. We go pretty late there, yeah. And this is going to end up killing Blightweaver, which will stop the spawns of the Plague borers, rather. Back up. We'll late. But that would be the goal there, is to just kind of chain these bombs into the packs. If these bombs could hit that 2-pack, insane value, and then we get the last set of bombs, and we could hit that 3-pack right here, insane value, and still position that red slime. That's what the final goal of this kind of pull is. It's still in the early stages of development. Like I said, this is the first pull. I think our DPS were confused as to who was supposed to pull what. That's fine. We'll get that ironed out. But it could be an absolutely massive time save, though, of course, requires much more coordination. So we're going to be trying that. It worked kind of well here. I do think it's going to be the fastest play. And so that's what we're going to be practicing. Other than that, though, we're just killing this pack now because it's now over here. We're going to kill the red slime. I'll show you the positioning on this as well. So basically, we want to time it so that the red slime is here with the boss. So we're not quite there yet. And so we pull them off the platform when the boss comes, and we're just dealing with them. We end up banishing this slime so we don't accidentally kill it. And then we'll just kill the Plague Binder and reposition this slime just in a good spot. I believe we put it right here in case we end up coming back to this platform. We can use it to kill the bombs. This is a boss fight where, unlike the first boss where there's a lot of that if that dot damage is coming out, it's super dangerous to be in the red slime. There's not really that much AoE damage coming out here. And so it's not that dangerous. You can pretty much always stand in the red slime. It's pretty beneficial here, especially if you do get lucky and this is one of the bomb platforms you get to be on. And we're just holding the kill here until the boss comes over, kind of deal. Boss will come over and we'll start the pull, of course. And on this guy, basically what we do is we have Banish. And we have Roots and we have Paralyze, and all those CCs can be used to never need to kill a purple slime on this fight. So we're just hard nuking boss here. We Lust in the second phase, then we have CDs again in the third phase to kind of get us through those bomb slimes. But yeah, boss is going to jump relatively quickly here because of how much damage we're doing. Again, all stacked up in that red slime. Buff. Insane damage. And we're going to be moving soon here. And there it is. So I believe we just banish Insta. So when these ads are actually banished, they don't apply their DR aura. So we can just banish it and have it all stacked up. I think we double banished her by accident, yeah, because of the haste. But you can banish it and it can all be stacked up. Running out to get the slime there. But super quick, right? Super quick. Lust help there. And then we skip to the last platform. So we rebanish it, and then I believe I rooted at some point, or we paralyzed it there, yeah. And then it gets rooted or something, yeah. And yeah, we moved to the last platform, didn't get lucky. It's fine. But then we have CDs up again, and this bomb will just die. Our comp isn't quite built to live this explosion. I think that was a strategy that was last patch, when it was like Paladin, Rogue. What's it called? Mage. That kind of comp could just live the bomb explosion and just hit the boss. Obviously, we cannot do that, so we just make sure we kill that bomb and, you know, just keep these purple slimes CC'd for speed. Moving in to past this boss, though. Faster, faster. Okay, here it is. So we end up adding this pack onto this, leave it all down together. We get the Relic, and we kind of chain it into the next pack, and makes that pack so much safer. It's a really good tech for fortified weeks as well, because that next platform can deal a ton of damage. The goal here is to just kill everything else but the Relic, and we just kill the Relic as we're moving to the next pack. You see here, we're just not too fast, so we're killing that Relic. So we get full CD value of it as well, because we're popping a bunch of CDs here as well, and it just makes this platform so safe. Like, this platform is just insanely safe now. And it obviously gets melted on a tyrannical week, but on a fortified week, like, it's really good to do this. So I would recommend doing that if you can, just chaining that buff. And like, there's a lot of things that buff can be insanely helpful for, just to make things so much safer, because of that HP regen. Like, not even considering like a damage boost it does for some classes or whatever it is. Like, the HP regen is insane in some situations. Really strong. So there's one example right there. So, that's the pack I talked about, just kind of tapping. Here. You just walk up here, and just tap it with a 40-yard spell. You don't pull this tentacle. Easy. So, that's how you do that. Moving downwards. We're just going to kill this guy. I think we kill the defender, then we pull into the pack here. Main thing, just focus that tentacle. It can get pretty scary. Make sure it dies. I think we have someone die to the tentacle in this pack, because we didn't quite focus it hard enough. Yeah. Tentacle trucks. Tentacle do truck, so make sure you focus that tentacle. Otherwise, though, platform's pretty straightforward. I think for RCDs, we went the pack first. Just it's better for RCDs, so that's what we did. Well, because you have the option either, right? If your CDs line up better if you do the just before the boss, do that. If it lines up better by doing the here and then doing this pack, then do that, right? It just depends on your team comp. For us personally and how we lined up our CDs, it's better for us to get this here so everyone can pop CDs on this pack, get the do the next pack, and then get CDs back for the boss. That's what we end up doing. This boss, pretty scary though. Let's pull straightforward. Not going to talk about it very much. High Tyrannical can get pretty scary for everybody. Pretty much always need a defensive to deal with that Shadow Ambush ability. And even just the tank, I mean, you're taking so much damage when the ad spawns, so you always want to make sure you have something. Dispel that ASAP to help with that damage intake. It's spooky. It's spooky here. So the one thing I think is important, especially, is that we don't have a great comp for breaking these ambushers out, and we had a very bad spawn here. Probably should have sped right off the top and turned around. But yeah, this was spooky. Basically, I need a little bit more help here, and we reposition to the middle now. and we're gonna have people go out for all the other ones, but just a little bit of surprise there, you know. Bad spawn is what it is, but yeah, you want to break these guys out ASAP, and you want to make sure you have some sort of CD rolling for those Shadow Ambush, or the Brood Assassins rather, because they do insane damage. It's a lot of damage to the tank that the tank's going to be taking at that point. There we go, much better. But it's just a lot, and especially with our strategy, like every other spawn of them ish, we kind of leave alive for a little bit of time to let the sub-rogue funnel into the boss. It kind of alternates between the sub-rogue getting to funnel and then the Destro Warlock getting to do extra damage, which also ends up being extra boss damage, right? Even though it's kind of AoE-ish. It is extra boss damage if we let them do it, but the sub-rogue gets more value. So every time the sub-rogue can get value from using those ads to damage the boss, we let it happen, and that kind of just means tank has to suck it up and take a bunch more damage. So that's what we end up doing. It gets pretty spooky. We end up double committing CDs there, unfortunate. But it's a rough fight. It's probably one of the harder high tyrannical fights for a tank in terms of damage intake. It's pretty up there. I think, you know, Car is obviously really high up there as well. Last boss in Necrotic Wake, really high up there. So these are just the kind of fights you need to be exceptionally careful about. And you see, I'm starting to run dry on defensive, so I guess a little bit spooky, but we managed to get through it just fine. And again, it's basically just break these assassins out ASAP, and either mass AoE them down with the Destro lock, or you let the rogue funnel, and, you know, you try and do your best, overlap AoE stuns, that kind of thing, just so you do not immediately die. But yeah, it's a pretty scary tank fight. It is. Not gonna lie to you. Very scary. Moving forward, though, we have 82% here. So 82, I believe technically 81.5 is all you need. So if you have 81.5%, you're good. You're good to go downstairs, assuming you're pulling the slimes. If you're not pulling the slimes, you need, what, 84.5? 84.5 if you're just doing this last room. But we're pulling the slimes, so the slimes are worth 3%. So we're good. So we're moving forward here. Because it's bursting, we do this one packet at a time to kind of not giga burst ourselves and just instantly die, because that would be bad. But again, on any other affix, even explosive, even spiteful, all those things, we would split up and we would send the warlock here. We would send the rogue here, and then me and the monk would initially be here, and then I would move to the rogue pack afterwards with the monk once this gets blown up, kind of deal. But yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's relatively straightforward here what you're doing. Killing all the packs, moving to the next, killing the pack, moving to the next, killing the pack. Not nothing too complicated here. We move on as soon as this is all dead to the slime pole. So they're in the back corner here, right where you come in. We're gonna end up pulling them all to the boss room. The only one we really care about is that red slime, but having all three buffs is kind of nice. The red slime is a bit buggy with how its cast works. You need to chain kick it to move it. So we did the same thing for that first boss, and I didn't really explain it well, so I'll explain it now. So basically, this thing will not move. Even if you're LOSing it, you need to make sure it's kicked. It'll just kind of chain cast and stand still, even if it's not hitting anybody. So you're going to see here, we are just trying to kind of spam kick it over. I think we just didn't have a kick in range there. And it won't move until you kick it. And now it'll move a bit, now it'll move a bit, now it'll move a bit. So it's a bit annoying. You need to have kicks assigned to it to move it completely. Random warlock stuns, great. But yeah, we're basically just bringing this right on top of the boss to get big value from our red slime puddle here to help with pushing the first phase and a little bit the second phase. I think we did have, yeah, we had the purple slime cast go off there, so just be careful with that. Make sure you are stopping that cast. It's a little spooky. So you're going to see us bring this right in here. I think I knock it a little bit to get it in. And we go straight into boss here. And this boss can get spooky. So another tech. You insta-burst Insta-burst and you're timing it for this infectious rain. We're murdering the and just watch this basically. It's like Infectious Rain is going to start in a second here. We're taking damage, but we literally do not care because Urbuff is just actually healing the entire thing. And we're also all standing in the red slime puddle. Like, it's crazy, the value of here. It's actually insane. We got a bunch of really, really good malignant spawns as well. But yeah, it's kind of wild. The value of on there. It does a lot. It does a lot. Really, really strong. We end up interrupting this rain as well, and that's the power of that red slime, right? If we did not have this red slime, this would be a full set of infectious rains on everybody, and that's, again, just more healing, more defenses you then need to commit to different rains. Not ideal. Going through the phase here. This spawn's dying a little slow. Ideally, this is already dead. Because they do kind of punch tanks pretty hard. But we're actually going to get pretty lucky, I think, with our spawns in this next phase. And this next phase is the Bloodlust. Because CDs are kind of not quite back yet. And we want to push this phase without too many rains. Because, again, the value here is not, oh, wow, this is a super low value Bloodlust because you're Bloodlusting without CDs. It's, we need to Bloodlust this boss or we're dead here because we don't have CDs. So it's all about how fast you're pushing this boss. And so that's why we commit this Bloodlust here, even though most people aren't running CDs. I think they get CDs like halfway through here is now you're seeing when people have a few things up. And then they'd be able to use things on the last phase as well. So that's why you see that. We have the defensive commit there. And again, ideally we're pushing here to kind of interrupt that infectious rain cast because it is very, very spooky if you're getting too many of those and you just run out of defensives to commit, right? I believe this is another 2-tick. Yeah, it's another 2-tick, so pretty good interrupt on the rain there. Huge amount of damage mitigation just by killing the boss faster. That's a big thing for this boss. And then again, you see we're starting to get cooldowns come back up for this last phase to just burn this boss down ASAP. And that is pretty much this boss fight. And that's Plaguefall as well. So hopefully you guys learned something. You guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications as well. Because again, doing this for all the Shadowlands dungeons this season, hopefully it was insightful. Hopefully you guys liked it. If you have any questions, feel free to drop one down below. Or you can come stop by my Twitch channel where I stream high keys like this. I stream mythic rating, all that stuff from a tank POV. Always more than happy to help. So you can check me out on Twitch at Tactics. Otherwise, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.